Most people are pruning lavender completely wrong, and that's exactly why their plants stop blooming over time. I don't just show care tips, I show what actually works. Step 1. When to prune. Step 2. Where to cut. Step 3. How much to cut. And, bonus tip, after pruning boost.
I used to think lavender was one of the easiest plants to grow. Plant it once, water it occasionally, and it just keeps blooming every year. But that's not what happened. After some time, my plant started looking bigger but weaker. More leaves, less flowers. And I couldn't figure out why. It looked healthy from the outside, but something was clearly wrong. That's when I realized the problem wasn't the plant, it was how I was pruning it. And once I fixed that, the entire plant changed. Stronger growth, thicker shape, and way more blooms than before. So in this video, I'll show you exactly how to prune lavender the right way so your plant doesn't just grow, it actually flowers properly. Before we go deeper, if you want real plant results, not theory, like the video and subscribe. Now, let's break it down step by step. Actual problems you will be facing. Most people think their lavender is doing fine because it keeps growing every year. But growth doesn't mean success. What actually starts happening is this. The plant becomes bigger but weaker from the inside. The stems slowly turn woody, hard, dry, and lifeless at the base. And once that happens, new growth almost stops from that area. So instead of getting fresh shoots, you get long, stretched branches with fewer flowers at the top. And this is where most people get confused, because from a distance, the plant still looks healthy, but in reality, it's losing its ability to produce blooms. And the worst part is, this doesn't happen overnight. It happens slowly, so most people don't even notice the mistake. Until one season, the flowers just don't come back the same. And by then, the plant is already too woody to fully recover. That's why pruning isn't optional. It's what keeps the plant young and productive. And the next step is where most people either fix their plant or make things even worse. Step 1. When to prune. Timing is where most people go wrong, not the cutting, the timing. Because even a perfect cut at the wrong time can reduce your blooms. There are two moments that actually matter. First, right after the plant finishes flowering in summer. This helps reset the plant and keeps it from getting too long and messy. Second, and even more important, early spring, just before new growth really takes off. This is the moment that shapes the entire season. If you prune here, the plant responds with thicker growth, more branches, and more space for flowers to develop. But if you skip this timing, the plant grows uneven and starts turning woody faster. And that's exactly what reduces blooms over time. Most people wait too long or prune randomly and then wonder why the plant doesn't perform. But once you get the timing right, everything else becomes easier. And now comes the most critical part, because knowing where to cut is what decides whether your plant grows back stronger or stops growing completely. Step 2. Where to cut. This is where most people make the biggest mistake. Not how much they cut, but where they cut. Because one wrong cut in the wrong place, and that part of the plant may never grow back. Here's the simple rule. Always cut into green, living growth, never into the hard, woody base. If you look closely, you'll see two clear sections. Soft green stems at the top, and hard, woody stems near the bottom. That woody part looks strong, but it's actually inactive. Once you cut into that area, the plant struggles to produce new shoots, and that's where people lose their blooms. Instead, focus on trimming just above the green nodes, those small points where new growth can form. When you cut there, you're telling the plant to branch out, not stretch out, and that changes everything. More branches means more flower stems, which means more blooms overall. Think of it like shaping, not just cutting. You're guiding the plant to grow fuller, not taller and weaker. And once you understand this, you stop guessing and start controlling how your plant grows.
And now comes the next mistake people make. Because even if you cut in the right place, doing too much or too little can still ruin your results.
Step 3. How much to cut? Now, even if your timing is right and your cut is in the right place, there's still one mistake that ruins everything. Cutting too much or not enough, and both lead to weak results. Here's the simple way to understand it. You are not trying to strip the plant, you are trying to reshape it. A good rule is this: never remove more than about 1/3 of the plant at a time. If you go too aggressive, the plant goes into stress mode and focuses on survival instead of flowering. If you barely trim it, it keeps its messy shape and doesn't produce enough new growth points. So the goal sits in the middle, cleaning the plant without shocking it. You want to remove long, uneven stems and guide the plant into a compact dome shape. That dome shape isn't just aesthetic, it's functional, because it allows light to reach evenly and pushes the plant to grow more side shoots. And more side shoots always means more flowers. Most people skip this, thinking it's just about looks, but this shape directly controls how productive the plant becomes. And once you get this balance right, the plant stops wasting energy and starts focusing on blooms instead of wild growth.
Now, I tell you, bonus tip. After pruning, boost. Most people stop after pruning, and that's exactly where they lose extra results. Because pruning is only half the job. The recovery phase is where the plant actually builds strength. Right after trimming, your lavender is in a rebuild mode. This is the best time to support it, not overload it. A light boost is enough, something like a mild, natural feed or a small amount of balanced nutrients. Nothing heavy, nothing aggressive, because too much feeding at this stage pushes weak, fast growth instead of strong structure, and that's the opposite of what you want. What you actually want is this: slow, steady strengthening so the plant can hold more flowers later. Also, make sure the plant has good airflow and sunlight after pruning, because this is when new shoots start forming. If conditions are right, you'll start seeing tighter growth within a short time, and that's the foundation for heavy blooming later in the season. Most people skip this step and then think pruning didn't work, when in reality, they just didn't support the recovery phase properly. And now, before we finish, let's talk about the mistakes that silently destroy all your effort. Even if you do everything right, timing, cuts, and structure, one small mistake can reset all your progress. First mistake: cutting into old woody stems. This is the fastest way to damage regrowth potential, because that part simply doesn't regenerate properly. Second mistake: pruning too late in the season. If you wait until the plant has already pushed weak growth, you remove the energy the plant needed for flowers. Third mistake: overwatering after pruning. This is where many people accidentally kill the balance. Lavender doesn't need extra water to recover, it needs stability. Too much water makes the new growth soft and weak, instead of compact and strong. Fourth mistake: letting the plant grow wild for too long between prunes. Once it gets too leggy, you can't fully bring it back in one season. And that's the key truth most people miss. Lavender rewards consistency, not emergency fixes. If you stay ahead of it, you get dense growth and heavy blooms every year. If you don't, it slowly turns woody and weak. Now let's wrap this up with what actually matters most: keeping your plant productive long term. At this point, you already understand what most people never figure out. Lavender doesn't fail randomly. It responds to how you treat it over time. When you prune it at the right moment, cut in the right place, and control how much you remove, you're not just maintaining a plant, you're shaping how it performs every season. Small corrections create big differences in flowering, because the plant always responds to structure, not luck. If you've ever had a lavender that looked alive but didn't bloom well, it wasn't the plant, It was the process being missed at some stage. The good part is, this is fixable going forward. You don't need complicated tools, you don't need expensive products, you just need consistency and timing. Now I want you to apply this in real life, not just watch it. Try pruning your lavender this way this season and observe how it responds week by week. And tell me in the comments, did your plant become denser or did it stay the same? If this helped you, like the video and subscribe, because next time I'll show you how to get even more blooms from the same plant using a simple trick most people ignore.